Hey Dave, how you doing? Can you hear me? Everything okay? You missed last night, man. You missed Monday and Tuesday. You said you were going to come. I'm streaming every night. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 7 p.m. Dylan, how are you? Joe, how you doing? Everybody's ready. Huh, except me. Oh well. You guys can hear me, yes? No? Okay. Last night we did a few things from the stick control book. We could all hear me, right? Okay. Now, I just want to wait a little until we get a couple more people. Okay, I'm going to loosen up a little bit if you don't mind. Just until we get maybe one or two different guys in here. Okay. I just need to say something here. My left hand is acting up. It has nothing to do with carpal tunnel syndrome or old age or anything like that. What happened when I was a young kid, maybe 10, 11 years old, I fell down the steps with real milk bottles. I mean, they were like glass bottles. I had about 5 or 6 of them like this, and I fell down. Okay? And what happened was I cut my tendon in my left hand, and I can't make my left hand straight. And because of, in time, my left hand is my pinky is becoming numb, and my grip is getting weak. So I'm gradually turning on to this. I still play like this. Okay? Now, Dave, let's not have a conversation here. The lessons that I've given last week and the week before and all of that stuff is on my YouTube channel. Okay? If you want to look at the lessons from the past, fine. If you want to take a private lesson on Skype, give me a holler. You know my address. But I don't want to have a conversation one-on-one. I don't mind answering questions drum related, okay? All right. So, last night we worked with the stick control book doing eighth note triplets in eighth notes, like 1, 2, and then we took it to the 16th note formation. I just want to recap on that. Everybody understand that? And I gave you an exercise from the stick control book as an interpretation using the 16th note triplets as the accents. Remember, we were interpreting the line as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and I said, okay, let's eliminate the the lefts rather. So all the rights are falling on the count of 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So we have this. We made all the rights accents. 1 and 2 and 3. We understand that. Okay, we understand that? We understand it. All right. Now, we went to line 2, and the rights moved over just to the ands. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay. Now that's one interpretation, but this is my bad, my fault. What I should have done was explain to you a different interpretation, which is a little bit easier. But being that we were working with the 16th note triplets, I figured let me throw that at you. So here's what we're going to do. we have this, the first line of page 5 of stick control book is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, that's the first measure. So let's interpret it a little bit different. Instead of interpreting the line as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, let's interpret it as 1, 2, 3, 4, and eliminate the lefts. So if I have the first section, right, left, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that becomes a 4-measure increment. We understand that. Okay. Now, if we, instead of doing 16th note triplets, let's bring it down to 8th note triplets. And we're going to interpret the line as quarter notes. We're going to play all the rights as accents. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Makes it a little easier. Okay, so now we do line 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4. Slower. 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4 and the. So I'm accenting 1 and 3. I go to the second line. Now we're interpreting it as quarter notes. So the right falls on the 2 and 4. So we have this 1, 2. Go to line 3, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So we eliminate the 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the accent's going to fall on 1, 2. We understand that interpretation? Why are you saying good night, Ricardo? You just got here. Okay, we understand that. So now we interpret like 1, 2, 3, 4. We understand it. Everybody, any questions on that? Everybody understand that, gentlemen? Help me out here. Hello? Okay. Let's go on to something new. Any questions? I mean, I'm trying to recap what we did and add something else to that. Now, last night we worked on page 8 and 9 with the vamps. We understand that? Oh. Okay, Dylan. Good. Yes, you do. All right. How about you there, Dave Franikowski? Okay. Let's go to page 10 in the stick control book. Now, I'm going to play as written. I'm not going to play it in cut time. I'm going to play it in straight time as 1 and 2 and... What's this? All right, that sounds good, Joe. If you have questions, just throw them in there. All right, we're on page 10. Short roll combinations. I'm going to do maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 different lines, 5 lines or so. And he maintains the same kind of platform, but he adds a little bit to each platform. So if I have line 1, I have a combination of 8th notes and 16th notes, which with the table of time is the grouping of 2 and the grouping of 4. Now you have a couple different ways to enter this. If you've never done this before, if you tried to do it and it didn't work out, let me recommend this. I want you to count. Let's do it really slow, and I'm not going to do it on the drum pad, and I'm going to do it on, up here, full strokes, okay? We're going to count 16th notes, but we're going to play what's written. So I'm going to do it real slow. 1, E, and, the, 2, E, and, the, 3, E, and, the, 4, E, and, the. Now notice my starting point with my drumsticks are equalized on the right and the left. The reason why I work towards that is to maintain the right sound, the correct even sound on my right hand and left hand, making them sound the same. So if you've never done it, that's step 1. Do it in 16th note count. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and Okay, now you understand it. You want to up the tempo somewhat. You know, you can eliminate counting 1 E and 2 E and count it as is, like 1. And I'm going to do them half strokes. 1, 2, 3 E and 4 E and 1, 2, 3 E and 4 E and boom. A little faster. Now, when I do that, and most people when they do that, when they come to the 1 up with a faster tempo, they seem to accent that downbeat. I try to eliminate it. I hear it, I keep going, but next time around, I try to eliminate it. Let me give you an example. You hear the accent in there? So we would try to eliminate that. That takes care of the right. Let's go to line 2. That's your left-hand lead now. So you're developing the approach or the attack on the right side with line 1. Then you're going to go to line 2 and develop the approach with the left-hand attack. So you have this now. 1, I'll do it up slow. 1 E and slow, 2 E and, 3 E and 4 E and 1 and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and Notice the stick heights. I work hard at that, and that's what you should work hard at. That's going to give you the this clean, equal sound. It don't matter if you do it slow. The slower you do it, the better off you are, because you're more aware of it and you're maintaining it. Okay, so line 2, we have 1 and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E, 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1. A little faster. I eliminate counting to 1 E and I feel it. Line 3, 1 and 2 E and 4 and 5. We all understand that. I don't need to go over that. What I would like to do is give you a supplementary exercise to develop the 16ths, the single strokes. All right? It's like when we did do line 5, page 5 rather, of Stick Control book, or the whole page, we tag on a vamp, and there's a reason for that. If I'm doing straight eighth notes with my right hand, that's actually half of this. Here's the exercise. One measure of an eighth note vamp and one measure of 16th note singles. Get it, guys? Okay. Left hand, the same thing. So on and so forth. All right. Now, let's take it to the next platform. You did it in eighth notes and 16ths. Let's do it in 16ths and 30 seconds. And if you're doing it in 16ths and 30 seconds, refer to the Morello book, the table of time. It's the groupings of 4 and the groupings of 8. As an exercise, a warm-up exercise, I would do one line of groupings of 4 like this. What's this? All right, so I'm doing 16th notes. So now, everybody, I'm not, when I do groupings of 8, I don't count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I subdivide the count. If I did 16ths, that's 4, so I'm going to answer that. So I'm counting 1, E, and the, 2, E, and the. Okay, so now, let's take page 10 again, all right, and we're going to do it in 16th and 32nd notes. So we're going to do it slow. 1, E, and the, 2, E, and the, 3, E, and the, 4, E, the, 1, E, and the. Okay, so now, let's pick it up a little bit. And the same thing with the left hand. 1, E, and up, 2, E, and up. So you got 1 E and the, Okay, now the same thing applies as the subdivision. We did the vamp and then we did 16ths. Now we're going to do 32nd notes, 16th notes and 32nd notes. A 4 measure, a 4 down, 4 beat vamp, 1 E and the, 2 E and the. Left hand. Okay, so now let's go. I don't want to do no doubles. I'm going to do line 1 and line 2 of page, I think it's 13. Okay, page 13. We're going to take it as is, 1 and 2 and 3 and the 4 and the. And it's a 4 measure increment, and we're going to do the same thing as we did last night with the vamp. We're going to tag a 4 measure vamp, and then we're going to do an endurance exercise for 3, 4, 5 minutes, whatever you can stand, without any pain. What's this? Okay. So here we go. We're going to do page 13, line number 1. Here we go. In 8th notes and 16ths. feeling it with my left hand right now. Let me try it this way. And that's the exercise as is. What I want to do now is tag a 4-measure vamp. So we played a line, and after we played a line, we play 16th note single strokes for 4 additional measures and back to the beginning of the line. Nice and slow. Here we go. 1, 2. Vamp, 1 E and the 2 E and the 3 E and the 4 E. Now I tagged an accent on the first stroke of the vamp, just to make sure that you knew where I was at. Okay? So now, what you want to do is set your timer to 3, 4, 10 minutes, whatever. You want to be crazy or whatever you want to do. The longer, the better. But you have to understand, if you want to develop this, you don't want no kind of pain or discomfort. So if you try 30 seconds and you feel good with it, extend the time to maybe a minute. As soon as you feel some sort of discomfort, stop. Relax. There should be no discomfort at all. I'm just experiencing right now with my left hand. I told you in the beginning of the lesson, I was a young boy, I got cut. And I got 64 stitches in this hand. And it's starting to affect me now. My pinky is almost numb. And it's starting to affect my grip. So what I have to do now is revert to this. And I've been working on that. What is that? All right, well, whatever. Okay. So now let's take, like I said, you're going to do it for a minute, maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes. You feel any discomfort, you're only hurting yourself. You're not accomplishing anything. Do you understand that, gentlemen? Okay. Man, where does time go? Look at the time already. And you do this with the right hand and the left hand, and you do it in 30 seconds. Now, there's another exercise. I didn't write it out, and I should send it to everybody, and I will. I've just been zeroed in or zoned in on writing the textbooks, okay? And they're almost complete. So, here's an exercise to develop 16ths in 30 seconds. Now, we're going to do the first measure. We're going to go to 3. We're going to go 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and Now, when we go to 4, it's 2 16ths in a 30-second. 4 E and 1. So I'm tagging 4 30-seconds on the and. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and. So I tag 4 30-seconds to the and. Now we're going to increase the increment. We're going to go 1 E and 2 E, 3 E and now when we get to 4, this is the second time we're doing it. We're going to play 8 16th 30-second notes. 4 E and back to 1. 2 E and 3 now. That was 3 E then and 4 E. The object to that is to play one, after you finish the building to all 30 seconds, you get to a measure where you're playing one measure of 30 seconds. That's what we're going for. So just to do, I don't, when I'm doing this, I feel my hands and I say, okay, they're feeling good. So I'll just hang out with line 1 I'll do the first exercise for a while. Then I'll go to line 2 or exercise 2 or 3, 4, so on and so forth. Just to give you an example, let me just do a demonstration here. I'm going to write this out for you guys. Hopefully I can get it to you by tonight or tomorrow morning. All right, I should just give the books a little bit of mentally rest. And we'll continue working on this stuff tomorrow evening. Now, the lessons, I'm going to spend a little time with you gentlemen. So what I'm asking at this point, I don't want to go any further unless if you have any questions, I take them now. If not, I'm going to go on to something else. So, I just like in the chat a question or no questions. Say something. Okay, no questions. All right. Okay. Let me tell you, I'm going to play that for a while, that kind of pattern. I like to hear what you guys pick up on this. All right, let's address that. Dylan asked a question. He has no questions. He understands what I'm doing, but he said he's having a little difficulty developing the full stroke with his weaker hand. I'm assuming that your weaker hand is going to be your left hand because you're righty, or if you're right-handed, it would be your left hand. So it takes a lot of time, a lot of consistent practice, right? You know, I have difficulty with it too, especially now with my wrist, my left hand feeling that way. So I just throw the stick down. And that's all you're doing. What you want to do, perhaps, if you don't want to do an order or a system with the full stroke, all right, what you want to do is a no-brainer, I call it. And a no-brainer would be, if I set the metronome, which I will do in a second, I'll play randomly a constant eighth notes, different sticking. Let's do something slow. That's at 60. Now I'm going to play that as the quarter note. 1, 2, 3. Here's what you want to do with the weaker hand. Here you go. 3. I put on snares. Guitar with the left, do the left, right. Randomly, I'm not playing no stick control book exercise like line 1 to 24 and the next page and the next page. I call it a no-brainer. You make your own sticking, but you don't break the eighth note pattern. Now, a good thing for really understanding that full stroke a lot better, or it's actually the downstroke, because you're going to come back up when I'm doing a single paradiddle, which is downstroke, downstroke, upstroke. Now, all I'm doing is bringing it up. Tap, tap. Now, that gave me the opportunity, if I had to make the adjustment, I'm not going down, up, and then bringing it up. I'm coming up immediately. Down, 1, 2, 3, or down, up, tap, tap. That's one exercise. And also, Paul, who was that, Paul? Dylan. What you want to do, I have PDFs on certain exercises for accents. And if I was playing eighth notes, for example, with my left hand, this is going to help your free stroke, upstroke and downstroke. All right, because that's the upstroke is what you really want to work on when you're doing, that's the downstroke and upstroke, where you want free stroke. All right, there's an exercise that I've developed from the stick control book. For example, it's a matter of interpretation. If you email me, remind me, I will send you the PDF if I could find them. I had a while back, my computer crashed. I had no external hard drive. Now, I said, the hell with that. I got 3 computers, and what I do is I email me the PDFs. So I have it. If one goes, I have it on the other one. Okay, so here's the exercise. Let's start with line 3, because you're trying to get that full stroke. So line 3 would be on page 5, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So I'm going to interpret that as I'm going to eliminate the left. So that would give me 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So I'm saying, okay, whenever I come to 1 and 3 and, I'm going to play an accent. So here's where your full stroke and your downstroke are going to come in. Underneath that, I'm playing eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and. Now, I'm going to play with the accent. 1 is a free stroke, and is a downstroke. Tap, up. It's a good exercise to work on. Email me, and if I don't have it, I'll rewrite it, a little bit of it, okay? Dylan? Okay, break time. All right. To answer Dave Franikowski's question, he was unable to make Monday and Tuesday. If you go to my YouTube channel, you will see the dates on Monday and Tuesday of the lessons I've done that you've missed. You could review them on my YouTube channel. All right, Dave? Dave, why don't you maybe Skype me? We'll talk. Okay, now here's what I want to do. We're going to take the stick control book again, page 5. What's this? Okay. What I want to do, this is pertaining to the up-and-coming ostinato patterns. One ostinato pattern I like to do, it's a commercialized thing, but it's good development of coordination. I get my sticks and I'm playing 16th notes, alternating strokes. But on the count of 2 and the count of 4, I'm going to play out a snare drum. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. Now, I want to develop the bass drum. And I'm going to interpret, again, page 5. I'm going to make all the rights on that page Mr. Bass Drum. So now I'm going to have this. 1 E and a 2 E. I'm getting the accent. So we have 1 E and the 2. Line number 2, the accents for the bass drum is going to fall on the ands. 1 E and the 2 E and the 3 E and the 4 E and 1 E and. Do you understand it so far, gentlemen? I will write that out somewhere. But that's in the book, in the booklet. Now, that should be doing it for tonight, guys. What do you think? Anybody want any more? I have more, a lot more to give. Any kind of recapping on anything that we have done, you're not certain to, because it's always very nice to revisit things that I've taught and re-explain it to make sure to clarify that you think, you have any doubts. Now's the time to ask. Okay, guys. All right. 4 thumbs up, no 5 thumbs. That Marcio Israel, whatever his name is, gives me his email, and it was returned. There's no such email. So, Joe, you said you had somebody who speaks Portuguese or could write Portuguese. What would be nice is if, please give me your email in Portuguese. That would be great. Okay, no questions, no problems, no recapping anything. Anything you want to review? What's this? More of what? More of that. You have to remember there's a review. I mean, a delay here. More of what? Me playing a little bit? Is that what you'd like? I don't know how to play. Believe me. Okay. I just like, have a good time. I don't know what I'm going to say or what my drums are going to say, but I just, go with it. Okay. Just to, now that I'm aware of it. Tell me the time signature. Well, first, what you want to do, Ricardo, the question is, when's the best time to call me on Skype? I don't know. First of all, I just had to reinstall Skype. All right? And what you want to do, okay? Yeah, what time signature was it in, Joe? What you want to do is request on Skype. It's Matt Patella, period, 1. And I'll accept you and we could talk. Anytime would be good. Joe, you're correct. How did you get that? But now, let's talk about subdivisions of time signatures. 6/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. Doesn't it sound like 4/4? I could be 6/4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What's that? Barks, sorry. Yeah, well, it was 6/8. You're correct. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4. That bass drum was telling you 1, 2, 3. 5, 6. 1, 2, 4, 6, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Enough is enough. What's that? Okay. Here's my Skype name. You want to make contact with me through Skype? Here we go. Let me write it out here. It's Matt. That's it. Six, 8, 12, 8, and 4, 4. Add them all up. Joe, you're all right with me, Joe. Okay, guys, I'm calling it a night. I hope I've helped everybody out, had a little fun. We'll be back tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Tomorrow night, sort of a little review. We'll have a great time, okay? And new things, and I'm going to try to get those PDFs. Ricardo, you could Skype me, no problem. Dylan, if you need to, email me, okay? And I'll send you, what is this? Wait a minute. What's going on? Okay. Dylan, you could email me. And gentlemen, no donations. Aye. Thank you. Paul, my pleasure, sir. And I'll have a price for everybody on the books or the booklets, whatever you want to call them, or the work booklet, the workbook, you could call it. That's better. There's no copyright infringement. Okay. Anyway, being that Ricardo asked for my Skype, Horst, why don't you ask some questions while you're watching, if you have any. And I'm glad that you came again tonight. You come back tomorrow night. Come back every night. Not give me a hard time, but ask some questions. Or ask me or some requests. You know, the samba, the Mozambique, all that good stuff. Okay. Remember, guys, donations are accepted. Okay, see everybody tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Have a good night.